Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagined big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hello and welcome to week 1 of season 2 of the Roger Cador Show, coming to you from Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, Scoreboards at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Coach, let's start this show with the entire sports family and Southern University, LSU community saddened recently by the tragic murder of LSU basketball star Wade Sims. As a parent, can you think of anything worse than a parent having to suffer through burying their child?
You can only try to put yourself in that position, but it's the worst nightmare you can ever have. And when I was coaching, I always wonder to my kid and then tell them, after 12 o'clock, nothing good happens.
Amen.
Make sure you're at home, make sure you're in the dormitory. But no matter how many times you tell kids that, they're still going to be kids.
Right.
And it's so tragic because the young man that pulled that trigger, the moment he put the gun at that young man, he should have known, if I pull that trigger and kill or harm someone, my life is over also. And I think that's the message that needs to be sent out to all people. If you pull a trigger, your life is over also.
You start talking about the message. Is this yet another wake-up call for us in the black community? Are we listening, and will this high-profile case be enough for us to start having the hard conversations that we need to have with our young people?
Well, it's a starting point. I tell you, we really need to have it. And it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time because there's so much situation that are going on in the community that we live in, and that we need to just make sure we keep saying it every day. It's something that needs to be said every day. And then we need to make sure we show love. Let people know we care about them. We want to give them a helping hand because people are desperate in the times we're living in. And our young people in particular, they just need so much more guidance.
You talk about the hard conversations that need to be had. It saddens me that as a man of color, we demonstrate a certain amount of anger as a community when one of our young people is killed by someone who is not a person of color. But yet and still, we don't seem to demonstrate that same level of outrage when one of us kills one of our own. We've got to get past that point, don't we?
Oh, we need to really get past of it because that was a classic situation. We should have been outraged by that young man who took the life of that other young man.
Right.
You have to show consistency, not one on this side and then have a different attitude on this side. A life is a life and a death is a death. So we've got to really embrace the fact that we've got to go in and help these young people to understand, let's stop taking each other's lives.
And quite frankly, I'm sure, because I know a lot of good-hearted people that don't look like you and I, and they would love to help, offering resources, time, energy, effort. But quite frankly, they're walking a pretty thin line. And if someone runs the risk of being called a racist or not being able to relate, quite frankly, they tend to back off sometimes because they only want to help communities that are willing to help themselves, correct?
Oh, I'm telling you, when I was coaching, that was a loud cry. Let's help the community if they want to help themselves. And I often told people, If you want to help yourself, there are people who will help you.
Right.
And I think we demonstrated it at Southern University with the baseball program.
Right.
We showed we were trying to help ourselves, and the community really rally around what we were trying to do.
Well, hopefully this will be a starting point, not just a starting point, but something that will develop a continuum, something that goes on through time. Because quite frankly, with the numbers being what the numbers are, it's a scary situation, Coach.
It's scary, and I tell my son all the time, be careful going out this door. You know, there are people out there who really don't care about life, who life they take, and I think it's so sad. So, yeah, we really need to start waking up. And like I said, I try to talk to young people wherever I see them. If they're not doing things right, I often say to young people in their ear, hey, lift your pants up.
Right.
Come on, wear it back. Make people respect the women and children. See, no one tells them that anymore.
Right.
And I try to go out of my way to do it in a really nice way to let someone know I am concerned about them.
Well, when all is said and done at the end of the road, I guess the rainbow here is that this is something that is well within the purview of the African American community to solve. And quite frankly, no one is going to solve our problems as readily and as efficiently as we do. When we come back, we'll talk a little football on week number 1, season number 2 of the Roger Cador Show from Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, Scoreboards. Stay close.
It was nearly a decade ago that Breck teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other. One family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Beep, beep.
Welcome back for segment 2 of week 2 of the Coach Roger Cador Show. Actually, this is week 1 of season 2 of the Roger Cador Show. We are at Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Coach, the LSU football Tigers came into this season. Quite frankly, nobody expected the Tigers to really do much of anything. Was that a blessing in disguise, Coach?
It always is, because now you have something to prove by working yourself up. It's always tough when someone puts you at a higher level and then you got to prove you deserve that. But I tell you what, Bebe Elgeron has done a masterful job.
That's your guy, Bebe.
That's my boy, Bebe. He's done a masterful job of coaching this team, and coaching his coaching staff as well.
Yes.
Giving them the reign to teach and help put people in the right position. I tell you one other thing. When they beat Miami, that was a telling tale.
Yeah.
You see, it showed that they were ready to play.
Being undefeated at this point, heading into the Florida game, from all the years that you coached, knowing how fans are, particularly Baton Rouge fans, what does your gut tell you? How many fans are just enjoying the ride, and how many fans are waiting on the other shoe to drop, Coach?
Well, it's always going to be a Sigma fan waiting for that shoe to drop, and they're going to be your loyal supporters.
Right.
You know what? The thing is, the SEC is a very tough league.
Oh, yes.
And everybody's capable of beating anyone on a given day. And they're going into a hornet's nest or a gator's swamp
Right.
over there in Florida because
Right.
I watched Florida play against Mississippi State. I think they got a tough road there because Mullen is a really good coach.
Yeah.
He's a smart coach. When he was at Mississippi State, he always played LSU well.
Oh, yeah.
And beat them on some occasions.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to figure out, you see, defensively, they have to step it up and not give up point and give the offense an opportunity. Now, LSU has got some issues on the offensive line.
Yeah.
A couple of their big men are hurt.
Right.
So that could be an issue with the running game as well as pass protection. So we've got to try to keep Burrows, the quarterback,
Yeah.
put him in situation, short pass situation where he can enjoy a measure of success.
Great segue to the next question. This young man, Joe Burrow, may be the best example in recent memory of being the right guy in the right place at the right time. All of that's great, but you also have to be ready to capitalize on being the right guy in the right place at the right time, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I really think that when he came there, it was a well-calculated guess by he and his father and parents to come to LSU. And he's got a chance. See, and he's still learning. He's
Right.
learning Insminger system, what they're trying to get done. But the thing that I like is that the running backs are good enough, and he's got 3 good wide receivers.
Right.
As long as they keep the short passes going, he's got a chance.
Of course, now the Tigers finally also have a bona fide kicker in Cole Tracy. Amazing how one guy can make such a difference in the fortunes of a team and maybe in the fortunes of fan support. Is that one of the things that just makes college athletics one of the things that we love so much in life?
Yeah, it's individual. You know, here's this guy coming in from somewhere, wherever he came from, being a 5th-year senior.
Right.
Makes a difference, just like Burrows. You see, you need those people are the last fit to the puzzle, so to speak, because you work hard. And remember, before the season started, they had 3 people that they had to put off the team, I think.
Right.
They had to disciplinary.
Uh-huh.
So, and Coach O called them in and gave them the riot act on.
Right.
And they put them all in place. And now the kids, you give leadership reign to the people who have leadership, and they're taking over.
From a coaching standpoint, speaking of Coach O, having been where Coach O has been, it's probably pretty easy for him to stay grounded right now, even though you're undefeated 5-0?
Yeah, it's pretty simple to stay grounded, but you know what? He knows each game the pressure is building.
Right.
Because that segment of fans who want it all now. Now they want it all. So Coach O has got to try spoon feed it to him.
Uh-huh. Well done, Coach. Well done. When we come back, we'll move up to the next level, talk a little more football as we continue week 1 of season 2 of the Roger Cador Show from Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We'll be right back.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
back to week 1 of season 2 of the Roger Cador Show at Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, Scoreboards at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Coach, the Jags stumbled out of the block for homecoming, taking on Alcorn State, dropping the first conference game of the season. What is it about Alcorn State, Coach? Why do they always play us so tough in every sport?
Well, it's they see Southern as something most people see us as. They see us when we were in the heydays, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, in the 80s, when Southern was the team that had all of the things that they didn't have.
Right.
Keep in mind, Southern was the first to have a stadium, but they didn't have it.
Yeah.
And Southern had the great band and all the other things. So they're going to play us hard. All those schools are going to play us really hard. So that's the other thing. The other thing that nobody's talking about, Clarence, and I'm going to talk about it until that the administration won't tell. Southern is in for a long reckon with, because Southern can't get in junior college players.
Right.
Because they don't have a degree that they can transfer their courses in. You see, we don't have a general study program. And so we can't get transfers. And it's essential.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have 11 Division I schools in the state of Louisiana with a population of 4 million people. Come on. And then, you see what I'm saying?
I see what
you're
saying.
Just can't depend. So we need to go outside of the state. We need to be able to get in transfer to keep the program really credible. And that's not what we're not doing. We're the only school that's not doing it, and that's why you see the level of production is dropping off.
Fortunately, this year, starting the season playing up against TCU and Louisiana Tech, we came out okay physically. But just last weekend, Tennessee State had a player suffer a severe head injury playing up against Vanderbilt. Your thoughts on smaller schools playing up? Is that just a necessity these days because of the money that's involved to make college athletics viable?
It's a necessity. They don't have a choice. If they don't do it, they're not going to survive.
Right.
So you take the risk for the payday, and that's really what happens. And it's unfortunate because also Tennessee State almost beat Vanderbilt.
Right.
They should have beaten them. So my thing is, it's going to keep happening where schools like Southern and Tennessee State and all the rest are going to have to play the payday games to supply, because football and basketball are the two sports that can generate some fun.
Right.
And you got 12 or 13 other sports who are not producing any money. You gotta fund them.
And of course, now on the flip side of that coin, when all is said and done, any athlete worth its salt should cherish the opportunity to go up against the big boys to find out what they're truly made of, right?
Yeah, football is a little different.
Yeah, not quite like baseball, right?
It's not like baseball, track and field, tennis and golf and all the other sports. But boy, I tell you, they want to play them, but you better be ready, because you know, it is what it is. The D1, the 5 top conferences, they've got the best players in the world, and that's what it is.
There was a very interesting article in The Advocate recently that said next year, when Nichols State comes to Tiger Stadium, LSU will then have played every 4-year institution with the football program in Louisiana except Southern and Grambling. And if they're going to spend that money and support other schools around the state, it's time they do so with Southern and or Grambling. Your thoughts?
Well, really, the people gonna love the band at LSU. Let me just say this.
Right.
It's really not even listen, I played LSU all 33 years I coached, and we did relatively well.
Right.
Because baseball is different than football.
Of course.
I know what the people at LSU, they don't want to embarrass Southern, because that's really what it amounts to.
Right.
We really don't have a chance to beat them in football, and everybody knows that.
Right.
Who is thinking above what they should be thinking.
Right.
And severe injuries like the kid with Georgia can happen, and they don't want that on their mind. But you know what? If Southern want to play them and LSU say we'll play them. That's the way I look at it.
When we come back, we'll move ahead to segment 4 of week 1, season 2 of the Roger Cador Show from Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Stay close.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
You don't have to understand the physics of flying to fly easy. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Welcome back for our final segment of Week 1, Season 2 of the Roger Cador Show from Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Coach, talk about the Saints a little bit. Got off to a rocky start, but it looks like they managed to right the ship right now. For a lot of so-called experts, this was a team predicted possibly to go to the Super Bowl. At that level of competition, where's more pressure from? The fans, the predictions of that nature, or from yourself?
Well, it's from yourself because it's about your livelihood. It's a little different in college and high school.
Right.
You have to take care of your livelihood. You have to produce. But the other thing is that, you know, unless the Saints play better defense, they're not going to be able to go to the Super Bowl.
No.
This is why people say defense win championship.
Oh, yeah.
Offense sells tickets. And so they're going to find that. I was listening to Deion Sanders talk, and he said their defensive backs are just not up to par to be able to, for them to compete against quality teams that are also going to score points.
Yeah. Obviously, Mark Ingram suspended for the first 4 games of the season. When you were coaching, what was it like readjusting to bringing that particular piece of the puzzle back into play when, in fact, you've been rolling pretty good without that piece?
Well, it depends on the level of the kid, the young man's ability to be a game-changing player. I don't know if Ingram is that kind of player. He is a really good part to the puzzle. Right. But, you know, when you start talking about, you know, I think Kamara is really doing an excellent job.
Without a doubt.
But he needs a break. Yeah. Because it's better to have 2 good back rather than 1.
How many years do you think Drew Brees has left in him behind center for the black and gold?
He's got a couple of years as long as he doesn't take the major hit. Right. And he's smart enough to do the 3-step back and get rid of the ball fast. As long as he stays with that philosophy, he can play 2-3 more years.
In recent memory, can you think of any quarterback who's meant more to a city and the state that they played for than Drew Brees, considering what he did for the city, not just on the field, but also off the field?
Yeah, when he came when Katrina hit, that was major. And the way the owner Benson embraced him and did some things to help the football team be successful, I think it helped save the city. It gave them something to forget their miseries.
Right. Outside of the sports arena, you and I are going to take part in a big event later this month involving some great people in business in our area. How much are you looking forward to this, Coach?
Well, you're the MC.
Yeah, but you're the guest speaker.
Oh, my goodness, that's great. You have to introduce me. We're going to have fun. I've been thinking about what I'm going to say, but one thing I know, we're going to have fun.
Oh, without a doubt. And of course, Coach is referencing the Torch Awards for Ethics in Business, put on every year by the Better Business Bureau here in Baton Rouge. Yours truly will have the opportunity to be the MC, and the big guy here to my left, your right, will be the keynote speaker. So if you haven't gotten those tickets already, you need to make it a point to do so. I know you're looking forward to this, Coach, because the business community has supported you so solidly all these years.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't have made it. I'm sitting here, not standing, because of the backing of the business community. And this is why when I talk to people at Southern and young coaches and people, I said, the thing that got me really started is that I did community service. And if you do community service, the business community will embrace it because it's something about community service. Well, the thing about it is a gift from God.
Amen.
It's really a gift from God because when you think about Jesus, he did a lot of community service.
That's a great point.
Yes, and that's why I embraced it, and I'm so proud of the fact that I did it. And now I get to talk to the people and let them know how much I appreciate it.
Speaking of talking to people, the last time I talked with you, the whole retirement thing was still in the early phases, was just really starting to settle in and get a little momentum going. How's it going these days? How's the adjustment been for you?
Oh, it's been really good because you know what? I accept the fact that I wasn't going to be able to coach forever. And I wanted to do something before I get too old and in the wheelchair. And so, no, I'm really proud of being able to retire. And I've been doing a lot of traveling and a lot of other things.
Good for you, Coach. You certainly have earned it. Again, we are broadcasting this show and will be every week of the season. This is only week 1, season 2 of the Roger Cador Show. And if you've not come out yet, make it a point. Come on out to Coursey Boulevard, 10655. Check out the good folks at Scoreboards Sports Grill. It is Baton Rouge's newest sports grill. And unlike other sports establishments, this one is family friendly. Caters to all ages, families, you are more than welcome. The food is great, the fellowship is great, the fun is totally off the charts. So the next time you're looking for some place to spend some of that disposable income and you want to bring the whole family with you, just remember, Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill. On behalf of the illustrious one himself, Hall of Famer, Coach Roger Cador, Marty, Alan, Bert, the entire crew, I'm Clarence Buggs, looking forward to seeing you next week with another edition of The Roger Cador Show. We'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you, Marty.